Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. In this video, we're going to go over the two questions that I left for you guys to solve as a homework. So the first question was about creating a random array of 6 numbers and checking if each element is less than 0.5, and if that's the case, then change those elements to 0.5. So we're going to start with question 1. And we're going to create a random array. We're going to call this A1. And A1 is made up of random 1, 6. So to create random numbers, use the built-in function, which is rand, and then open a bracket. So with rand, you can create one random value, like so. If you just put 1 inside of the brackets, and that will create a random value for you. Or you can create an array of random values, which you have to state 1, because we have only one row, and 4 columns. And if you press enter, and you'll notice that created 4 elements. You can also do a matrix. So let's say 3 by 3. And that creates a 3 by 3 matrix made up of random values. For this example, we're just going to create an array made up of 6 random values. Now, this will create a random value between 0 and 1. If you want higher values, there's no specific command or a function for it. But you can, let's say, your maximum limit is 5. So a random value between 0 and 5, you have to multiply by 5. And let's say run this, and you notice that the numbers now reach up to 5, basically. What we will do is we're going to create a for loop. So for I equals 1, 2. 6, because we have up to 6 elements inside of this array. Now, if you're not sure about the number, the number of the matrix, or how many elements inside of the matrix, just put length of 6. And this is useful for arrays because it checks how many columns you've got, basically. So it counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that should say, so the length of A1 should be 6. And we can test this. If we type length A1, gives you the answer 6. So for this, for the for loop, what we want to say is that if an element is less than 0.5, then what's going to happen is that that specific element will change its value to 0.5. Make sure to add end to end the if and for, then run the section, and we'll start from here. So it created these ones, and we notice that this, and this one are less than 0.5, and we can see it started changing the first one, then moved on to the third one, and then that one, and yeah, that's it. For question 2, in this question, matrix, in this question, we have a matrix that has it's a 4x4 matrix, and its elements have values of zeros. So we type in zeros, and then we type in 4 and 4. So 4 rows and 4 columns. And we kind of do the same thing. So we start a for loop. We start with I. And we're going to say length of M1. Now, because we have 4 rows and 4 columns, it's best to loop over the rows and columns. So create for j equals 1 length M1. Now we can use length because it's a 4x4, but be sure that if you have, let's say, a 5x4, be sure to specify the correct length for the rows and for the columns. So if this was a 5x4, then I needs to be up to 5 rather than 4. And same for j, it should be up to 4 rather than 5. So what we will say is that if an element I in j, no, sorry, if I is equal to j, so if the number of rows and number of columns match, actually, before we do this, let's just run this and see how it looks like. So this is how it looks like. That's just M1. I turn these off by commenting them so that they don't run in when you click run section. So what we are looking for, so this is the first row, second row, first row, first column, second column, third column, fourth column. So for this diagonal element, the row is 1 and the column is 1. And this is why I specified in here that if I is equal to j, so if the number of row is equal to the number of column, which in all of these cases, that is the case. So that should say for I, it should be 3, and for j, it should be 3. And same here, I should be 4, and j should be 4 as well. Now, if this, let's uncomment these. So select them, right-click, uncomment. If this is the case, then what's going to happen is that M1 of I and j of that specific element will be equal to 2. Let's add end to end all of these, just to test how it looks like. And we can see that it changed the diagonals to 2s. Now, if we want to change the numbers above the diagonal, so in these cases, I is 1 and j is 2, I is 1, j is 3, I is 1, j is 4. So if I is less than j, then M, I, j should be, let's say we'll change it to 1. And this is elseif. If we run that section, let's run the section again, elseif, I is less than j, M1, there we go. And we can see that it changed the values to 1. Now, you can add another elseif and say if I was more than j, but since that's the last condition, we're just going to add an else. Then we'll say M1 I j. And we're going to say that if it's less than the diagonal, or if it's below the diagonal, then change that to -1. And we can run section, and we'll notice that the numbers below the diagonal are less than or are -1. And that's it. That's all you need to do. Thank you for watching, and be sure to attend next week's session. Bye-bye.